Hello friends, this is a database management system NPTEL course assignment 3 conducted in August 2019. I'm going to discuss each of the question in a detailed way so that you can understand the question, and I will also explain you why a particular option is right, why a particular option is wrong. Now look at question number 1. Consider the relation product name count shop ID. One more is quantity count shop ID. Two tables are given. The question is, what product names will be displayed by the operation product division quantity? This is a division operator. Let me explain what is division operator. Suppose A is a relation with X and Y columns. B is a relation with Y column. And here we have some tuples x1, y1, x1, y2, x2, y1. And B is a relation with one column y, say assuming y is y1 and y2. Now what is A division B gives you? What is A? A is xy column, B is y, A is xy column, B is y. Between them I am using division. We can read this as xy by y will give you x. When x will be given, if it is compared for all y's, we can call x for all y's. If you look, xy by y will give you x when if it is compared with every y. Say here x1 is compared with y1, x1 also compared with y2. So x1 is in the output. Here x2 is compared with y1 but not with y2. It means x2 is not compared with all y's of B relation, so x2 not in the output. So simply you can find x for all y relation. Now look, what is a product name count shop ID? What is quantity count shop ID? Between them we have a division operator. So name count shop ID by count shop ID will give you output name in the result. So that for the name it should have a matching row with each quantity tuple. What are the quantity tuples? 5, 1, 8. Now look at mobile matching with 5, 1. No, it is 5, 3. So it is not matching with 5, 1. Go with the name laptop. Now laptop is matching with 5, 1, which is there in the quantity. This is matching. And same laptop is also matching with 8, 2. Means laptop is matching with 5, 2 and 8, 2 of quantity table. So that laptop is in the final output. Laptop is in the final output. Look for speakers. It is matching with 8, 1, 5, 1, no, 2, no. So only laptop is matching, so that we can go with an option B. Question number 2. Consider the relation employee designation salary. Question is, find the domain calculus equivalent to the statement. Select the designations of all the employees whose salary is more than 50,000. To find designation of all employees. Designations we have to find. Designation I am assuming D, salary I am assuming S. D is in the output. So that option B and option D is directly incorrect. Why? Because it is selecting both the columns. But what it is asked? Only designations. Condition is whose salary is more than 50,000. Salary more than 50,000. Here look, option A, D is in the output. There exists S, DS. SDS belongs to employee and S greater than S is salary greater than 50,000. So it is correct representation. Look for option C. D, there exists S. S belongs to employee. S greater than 50,000. Here both are looking same, but both are differentiating between this place. Both are differentiated at this place. You look, what is a convention? Here D I want in the output is left salary. Okay, we have to use there exists S. This is also common. DS belongs to employee. What is D? Designation. S salary. It means designation and salary together is belongs to employee. This is correct representation. But what here it is mentioned, just S belongs to employee. What is S? Salary. Salary belongs to employee is okay, but only salary is not a table of employee. Both designation and salary together is a employee table. So means what should be there here? Both D comma S should be there. but only S is there, so that option C is incorrect. So answer for the question 2 is option A. Into question number 3, given consider the relations hospital doctors. Some attributes are mentioned. The question is, what will be the tuple relational calculus TRC into the following statements? The statement is names of all doctors, doctor names we want in the output, available in Peerless. Peerless is the name of the hospital. Available in Peerless. Peerless is the name of the hospital. Look at option A, DH given, which is incorrect. Why? Because format of TRC query is T such that P of T. T is a tuple variable, which is an output. P of T is a formula. In option A, it is taken TDH. It is taking the format of domain relational calculus. That's why option A is incorrect. Option C is also incorrect. Look for option B. D belongs to doctors, means here D is a tuple variable belonging to doctors. T hospital ID equal to D doctor name. So what does it mean? D doctor name is assigned to T hospital ID. What is T output? T output is shown with hospital ID, which is incorrect. Why? Because T output should be doctor name. So we can go with option D. T such that D is a tuple variable belonging to doctors. T showing D doctor's name. What is D? Doctor's doctor name is assigned to T, which is a result. Now result is showing doctor name. There exists H belongs to hospital. H is a tuple variable belonging to hospital. H hospital ID equal to D hospital ID, showing the joint condition between doctors and hospital tables, because hospital ID is matching with hospital ID. So it is a joint condition. And what is the selection condition? Name of the hospital is Peerless. So it is perfectly valid syntax, and we can say option D is the correct answer. To question number 4. This question is also on the same scheme of the question number 3. Hospital and doctors are given. Question is name of all doctors available in Peerless. Name of all doctors available in Peerless. Doctor name is in this table. This is a name of the hospital. That is a condition to write. Write relational algebra expression. Name of all doctors we wanted, column name we wanted. So column name we can specify using pi. In Peerless, this is a condition. We write using sigma. What we wanted? Names. Option A is wrong because hospital ID is given. B is wrong, hospital ID is given. Option C, doctor's name. Option D, doctor's name. This is between both hospital and doctor's table. So in doctor's table and hospital tables are joined. Condition is on hospital table with a condition name equal to Peerless. Condition is on hospital table. Look at option D. That name equal to Peerless condition is written on doctor's table, but name equal to Peerless is a condition on hospital table. So option D is incorrect. So we go with option C. Question number 5. Consider the relation student ID rank marks score. Question is, what will be the relational algebra statement equivalent to the following statement? Statement is rank of all students. What it is to find? Rank. Column we wanted. Column we can specify using pi. ABS International School. This is a condition. Condition we write using sigma. That is school name is ABS International School. That condition is to write. Whose marks is greater than 80? So one more condition is there, which is connected with a conjunction operator. Condition marks greater than 80. So marks condition should be greater than 80. Two conditions accordingly. Option C is wrong because it is selecting both rank and marks. Option D is wrong because it's selecting school itself. What we wanted? Rank. So option A, option B we look. Option B, the conditions you have to specify with sigma, but here it is used pi. So B is wrong. What is left? A is right. Pi rank correct. Sigma correct. Marks greater than 80 condition true. And operation school ABS International correct. It is from student table. So this is a valid statement in relational algebra. So answer for question A is option A. Question number 6. Consider the relation product name, sale count, month, the attributes. Select SQL query from within a host language. Find the names of those products whose sale count exceeded the count stored in accounted sale in a specific month defined in a target month. Accounted sale and target month are declared in host language. So we call accounted sale and target month are host language variables. Remember friends, host language variables are to be preceded with a semicolon, are to be preceded with a colon. Okay, it is to be preceded with a colon, means we should use colon target month. Syntax is to be verified. Question. Option A is wrong because colon is not used. In option B, colon is used. Option colon is used. Option D, colon is used. Here we have two conditions. One condition is sale count exceeded the count stored in the accounted sale. Specific month defined in a targeted month. Option D is incorrect because target month condition is not verifying in the option D. Now we have to look for option B and C. In an embedded SQL, embedded SQL is having a syntax. Every embedded SQL statement starts with exec SQL, ends with exec underscore end exec underscore exec. Okay, syntax, and both option B and C following the syntax. What is differs with respect to option B and C? Declare C cursor for. Declare C cursor for. Both are valid declaration of a cursor. We have to look for the SQL statement. Select name. What it is selecting? Question. Find the names of those products. It requires to select the name. It is correct. But what is selected in option B? Product. But what is asked? Name of the products, but not product. Product is a table name. Table name you should not write in the select. It is syntactically incorrect. So option C is the correct sentence. Number 7. What is the cardinality of the relation between loan and customer? Between loan and customer. Given diagram. We have a key constraint, arrow is there. Arrow indicates at most one case. Indicates at most one case. A single line, many cases. We read this statement, this diagram as a loan can be borrowed by n number of customers. A loan can be borrowed by n number of customers. Why? Because we don't have any arrow or something. So that we can say a loan can be borrowed by number of customers, means maybe 0 or 1, 2, 3 or n. We can call at least n, or at least not at least one. We can say 0 or many customers. But from the customer side, if you see, each customer borrowed, arrow says at most one. So means each customer borrowed at most one loan. At option A, a loan can be borrowed by at most one customers. A loan can be borrowed by at most one customers, incorrect. Why? Because we don't have any conditions on the line. There's no conditions, we can read as a loan can be borrowed by 0 or many customers, but it is given at most one. If it is at most one, here there should be an arrow, but we don't have any arrow, so option A is incorrect. Option B, a loan can be borrowed by n customers. Can be borrowed by n customers. Yes, 0 or n. Okay, n is correct. And a customer can borrow at most one loan. Customer can borrow at most one loan. Here arrow is there, arrow is indicating at most one loan. So B is the correct answer. Look for option C. A loan can be borrowed by at most one customer. A loan can be borrowed by at most one customer. Because at most one is there from loan to customer, but loan to customer we don't have arrow. So option C is incorrect. A loan can be borrowed by n customers. It is correct. A loan is borrowed by n customers, and a customer can borrow n loans. But customer can borrow n loans is incorrect. Why? Because we have an arrow. Arrow indicates at most one. So option D is incorrect. So what is the answer for question number 7? That is option B. Question number 8. So the ER diagram. Animals, carnivores, herbivores, dogs. This diagram is showing the hierarchical relationship. We call it is hierarchy ER model. And is which of the following statements are true? Dogs inherit the attributes of carnivores. What is a dog? Dog is a specialized entity. Specialized entity will inherit the attributes from the generalized entity. We can call carnivores is generalized now versus generalized entity. Specialized entity always inherit the attributes from generalized entities. Now question is, option is dogs inherit the attributes from carnivores. It is a correct statement. Dogs inherit the attributes from animals. Dog is having two generalized entities. What's its generalized entity? This is a generalized entity. Dogs also. Dogs inherit the attributes from carnivores and also from animals. So this statement is also correct. Let's see. Carnivores inherit the attributes of dogs. What is carnivores generalized? Generalized will not inherit attributes from specialized. So specialized will inherit attributes from generalized. So option C incorrect. D. Animals inherit the attributes of carnivores. Again, what is carnivores now with respect to animals? We can call it as a specialized. Animals generalized. What is the statement given? Animals inherit. So means it is saying that animals is getting the attributes from carnivores. No. Carnivores will inherit the attributes from animals. That is correct. So option D is incorrect. What is the correct answer for the question number 8? Both option A and option B. Number 9. The correct format of the declare section. Select the correct format of the declare section. Embedded SQL for declaring the following tables. Assuming the host language to be C, ID as integer and product name as string. Product name as string. Option A, exec SQL begin declaration section, exec SQL end declaration section. This is a syntax to specify the declaration section. The same syntax is there for option A, B and D, but not C. C is the incorrect option. Option A, ID as integer. Integer in query language, it is specified with a keyword int. So int product ID correct. Name as a string. Strings in query language which is specified with a character variables. We don't have a string type directly. Because we don't have a string type directly, option A is incorrect. Do option B. Have a type integer directly, it should be int. Option B is incorrect. So what is left is the option D. D is the correct answer. Why? Because it is following the syntax, that is exec SQL begin declare section, exec SQL end declare section. It is integer. Integer in query language we represent with int. Strings in query language we represent with char. So answer for this question number 9 is option D. Number 10. The following ER diagram. We have three entity sets A, B, C and one relationship. We can call it is a query relationship because it is a relationship among three entity sets. Question is identify the correct ER diagram after converting the ternary relation R into binary relation. Now we'll see how to convert ternary to binary. What ternary is showing? A is relating with B and C, relating with A and B, relating with C. We have to show all three. To show all participation, we will take some intermediate entity E, okay, so that we can show A is relating with E, is relating with E, is also relating with E is a connectivity to show relation among A, B, C. This is a correct representation to convert a ternary relationship into binary. Why? Because now B and E is binary, A and E is binary, C and E is binary, which in turn is relating with A and B. Say if I am looking for A, is it relating with B? Yes, through E. Is A is relating to C? Yes, through E. Means always E is some temporary entity set to show a relationship. This is a correct way of converting relationship into binary. Okay, ternary to binary we have to convert in this way. This is correctly representing option A. To the option B, it is incorrect. Why? Because between E and C we don't have any relationship. That's why option B incorrect. C is also with a similar reason, because between E and C we don't have a relationship, between E and B also we don't have a relationship, means entity sets cannot be connected directly. Is incorrect. D is incorrect because with respect to E and B only we have shown relationship. Here C is absent. Option D is also incorrect. So what is the correct answer for this question? Option